I don't know what you heard about me.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so
So
you may start now. Group 11.
okay. So Assalamualaikum, Tajahau, and Yupiringe Vanakkam.
Konnichiwa.
Today, me and my group mate Khairul Faizin bin Khairul Arifin we will present about the Sustainable Development Goal number 11. Sadly, Muhammad Zulizni Haziq cannot join us. We don't know about his whereabouts, and we cannot reach him basically. So it's
Haziq,
just it's just going to be me and Khairul Faizin presenting today.
Okay, you may proceed.
Yeah, so Sustainable Development Goal number 11 is to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. I will try to explain in the best way possible for you guys to have better understanding. So, okay, hold on. Okay, so I'll be explaining few important keywords in this presentation so that you guys will understand the whole presentation easily. First one is cities. Cities is an area in which a large number of people live fairly close together. Cities usually have their own separate governments and system for maintaining and providing utilities and transportation. Next is human settlement. Human settlement refers to an organized, permanent, or temporary inhabitation of humans on a small or large area of landing, including all the requisite infrastructural facilities. Inclusive, containing a specific element as a part of a whole. Next one is safe, protected from or not exposed to danger or risk, not likely to be harmed or lost. Next one is resilient, able to recall or spring back into shape after bending, stretching, or being compressed. And sustainable is able to maintain at a certain rate or level. So these are few words that you guys are going to find more on the next slides. So the introduction is by 2050, 70% of the world's population will live in cities, making cities critical in achieving a sustainable future for the world. This is due to migration. People from rural areas, they migrate to cities for better job opportunities. So business together with governments at various levels and civil society organizations and citizens are collectively engaged in pursuing ambitious objective to make cities more competitive, safe, resource efficient, resilient, and inclusive. Key areas of need in achieving progress on Goal 11 are: number one, identifying and agreeing the most sustainable ways to achieve the targets. What activities should be ceased and which ones accelerated. Number two, building appropriate capacity and skills across the stakeholder groups to deliver. Number three, attracting or securing finance, innovative design and delivery models and projects for integrated city infrastructure, including buildings, energy, mobility, telecommunication, water, sanitation, and waste management services. And number four, ensuring practical processes for multi-stakeholder engagement in all stages of urban development that build consensus, inclusion, resilience, and sustainability. If you guys don't understand this yet, it's okay. I'll explain more on next slides. So these are the initiative under the Sustainable Development Goals number 11. So the first one is safe and affordable housing. By 2030, ensuring access for all to adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. This is very important because like I said just now, 70% of world population is going to live in cities. Only 30% of the world population is going to live in rural areas. So we must ensure that city areas have the most adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic service and upgrade slums. Slum is defined as a complex housing area with incompetent or ineffective, inefficient facilities. So we have to upgrade it because there's going to be majority of the people are going to live in cities. We need that kind of top-notch facilities. So as you can see on figure 1, it's the government housing project. It's Kediaman Prima, Perumahan Rakyat Satu Malaysia. Is one of the initiative from the government to provide affordable house for those who are in B40 household income. And yeah, that's that. And as you can see on figure 2, it's the low cost house. It's PPR, Project Perumahan Rakyat. It's another initiative by the government created for Malaysian who earn less, so that they still can have shelter, because shelter is one of the basic needs for human. So yeah, moving on to the next point, which is affordable and sustainable transport system. By 2030, we have to provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport system for all, improving road safety, notably by expanding public transport with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, women, children, person with disabilities, and older person. This is quite crucial because we stated earlier that cities area we want to ensure a safe and inclusive. The keyword is inclusive cities. So vulnerable group of people like women, children, and person with disabilities and older person are categorized as vulnerable group of people. So yeah, we can see on figure 3 is the ladies coach at KTM train. As we all know, there are a lot of rape cases and sexual harassment cases happening when people use public transportation. So the urgency to create the ladies coach at KTM train is highly recommended at this point. So our government did that, and is a good initiative from them. And as you can see on figure 4 is toilet in ETS train. It's very disabled person, what do we call, OKU friendly, because they have the support system. It helps those OKU person, and the toilet, they make it quite spacious for those who requires wheelchair to commute anywhere and everywhere. So they create the toilet spacious to accommodate those who are in need. And as you can see on figure 5 is the concession cards for students, senior citizens, and OKU. When we look back at the point, it's the key point is affordable. So with concession card being introduced, students, senior citizens, and OKU can receive discount up to 50% if they use a public transportation, be it bus,
50%.
KTM, or ETS. Yes, 50%.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Number 4 is inclusive and sustainable urbanization. By 2030, we have to enhance inclusive and sustainable urbanization and capacity for participatory, integrated, and sustainable human settlement planning and management in all countries. This is specified in city area, which they don't really, okay. Let's just look through at figure 6. It's the OKU parking space. They don't need much of OKU parking space at rural areas because there are a lot of spaces there. But in cities, we are very what do we call that? Concentrated. We are concentrated, so we need those special place for those vulnerable group of people. So this with this initiative, by creating OKU parking space or creating a special pavement for OKU for blind people, that is the inclusivity that we seek in every urbanization of the cities. Okay, moving on to the next point.
And I think this one is part of the reducing inequality, as the previous group were presenting.
Yes. Yeah, there's continuity from previous group. I will explain much more further later.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the next one is to protect the world's cultural and natural heritage. we have to strengthen efforts to protect and safeguard the world cultural and natural heritage. Apart from to reach the point of having safe, resilient, inclusive cities and human settlements, we have to strengthen the efforts to protect, maintain, retain, and sustain the safeguard of the world cultural and natural heritage. Like as you can see on figure 7, it's the Malaysia's heritage. This is picture of postcard, but you get the gist of it. We can see Formosa there, we can see KLCC there, we can see Chinatown there, we can see Petaling Street and Little India there. So these are world Malaysia's heritage in the city that we have to protect at all costs, in my opinion. And as we can see on figure 8, it's Taman Negara is our natural heritage that we have to protect as well. So moving on to the next slide, it's to reduce the adverse effect of natural disasters. By 2030, significantly reduce the number of deaths and the number of people affected and substantially decrease the direct economic losses relative to global gross domestic product caused by disasters, including water-related disasters, with a focus on protecting the poor and people in vulnerable situations. Like what we are encountering right now with this COVID-19 pandemic, right? Local authorities take action to actually gather all the homeless people and put them together in in temporary shelter. This is a very good initiative by the government to reduce the adverse effect of natural disaster, because this whole pandemic is considered as natural disaster. And then it's stated there that about water related disasters, right? So as you can see on figure 9, okay, this is a very funny story. A few months ago, me and Nakib, we actually went to my town and we got lost on the way back home. So we searched through Waze, and Waze suggested that we use the smart tunnel.
Okay.
Smart tunnel, we didn't know that we cannot motorcycle cannot use the smart tunnel. And then we are trying to figure out why we cannot use the smart tunnel. uh Turns out we may found the reason why, because as we were on the motorcycle, it's as if we cannot meet the end of the tunnel, because the tunnel is very long. And when we went back, I did some research and I watched one documentary. um it's because smart tunnel is the longest tunnel in Southeast Asia, with nearly 10 kilometers in length, 9.7 kilometers to be exact. And during during water related disasters, like because cities, they are inclined to experience what do we call
Flash flood.
yes, flash flood. So the storm water can be stored in the smart tunnel, and this smart tunnel, it amazingly can store 3 million cubic water. That's equivalent to 792.5 million gallons of water. So this will prevent from cities like compact cities like Kuala Lumpur to experience flash flood. So this is very good, and is a multi-purpose facilities created in cities. This is a very good idea
Not
created
only
by
hot water, but actually to divert the water, discharge
yeah.
to the downstream from the
Ah,
city.
yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Continue.
Okay. So next one is to reduce the environmental impact of the cities. By 2030, reduce the adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, including by paying special attention to air quality and municipal and other waste management. This is very crucial because with large amount of citizens in one particular city, we are going to create a lot of waste, and we are going to produce a lot of carbon footprint. So it is so important for us to try and to reduce the environmental impact of cities, which example given on figure 10, cities like Cyberjaya and new cities like Cyberjaya and Putrajaya, they implemented the use of O-bike, and Cyberjaya also, they have this one scooter where people can just rent those scooters and O-bike to go everywhere within the cities. They just have to pay rent, and they just have to have the apps to actually rent those transportation. And as we can on figure 11 is the solid waste management. Cities like I'm not sure about Cyberjaya, but Putrajaya, they already implemented this, whereby the solid waste management company, they actually ask the citizen to segregate their solid waste, and they are going to pick up all those solid waste according to category uh, on certain days. Meaning it's like Monday it's for paper, Tuesday it's for glass, and the rest of the days for other solid waste. So this is a very good initiative, so people are aware about this solid waste management and how they can practice the 3R: reduce, reuse, recycle practice. So this is a very good initiative from a city like Prazaya, I would say. The next one is provide access to safe and inclusive green and public spaces. By 2030, provide universal access to safe, inclusive, and accessible green and public spaces, in particular for women and children, older person, and person with disabilities. As you all know, these are the groups, the people that we consider as vulnerable group of people. So this is very crucial, because back then government got lashes from Malaysians due to new shopping malls built in Kuala Lumpur, my town. Government got many lashes because it's a new shopping mall. It's very big. We don't need more shopping malls in Kuala Lumpur, in particular. Let alone in Malaysia, we have a lot of shopping malls already. What we need is green and public spaces like public park, library, and so on. So, but the government they combat the issue very professionally by actually renovate the Taman Tasik Titiwangsa. So as you can see on figure 12, it's the scenery at Taman Tasik Titiwangsa. I've been there. I don't know if you have been there. It's very convenient. It's very conducive. Very comfortable. They have tennis court, if I'm not mistaken. So
tennis court is there.
yeah, so they have playground, they have swimming pool, they have picnic spaces, and it's very safe. So and it's very convenient for the person with disabilities, because on the pathway they have the what do we call that, the special path for disabilities person. So yeah, all of this, the source is from the Sustainable Development Goals knowledge platform. So okay, so I'll pass this presentation to Khairul Faizin. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Good evening. Okay, so question number 2. How does SDG 11 related to environmental management? So the number 1 is it increases economic growth. So it increases Christopher Chase Dunn says that it is not population size or territorial, but economic weight. Political stability is the main aspect of the economic growth in a in a place.
Right.
And number two, cities can create jobs and offer better livelihoods. So most of us, our parents, or maybe the urban people, move to cities to find a better job. So because cities offers a lot of job from a lot of scopes. So for example, construction workers, they can be entrepreneurs, can be anything that they want in a city. So next is protect local and regional ecosystem. So by implementing this, it can protect local and regional ecosystems. So the ecosystem will not be bothered and it will not be destroyed when a city is being developed. So number four is promote the decoupling of living standards and economic growth from environmental resource use. So the meaning of decoupling is separate. So what it says is that it balance between saving the environment and also the development of the city. So and number five is improve social inclusion. So social inclusion is to promote equal opportunities and resources between people with and or without disabilities. So both people who are wealthy or non-wealthy can have the same things, basic things. And the last one is reduce both urban and rural poverty. So rural and poverty is the one of the main problems in our country or in any other country. So and it can be both places, be it in the city or maybe in the outskirts. So yeah, by implementing this, it can reduce the poverty of both places. So next. Okay, so these are some of the examples of the of how to why is it related. So figure 13, it shows the waste management workers on duty. So as in Malaysia we have Alam Flora, I think, and yeah, Alam Flora is the main waste management companies to what do we call it? Yeah. Okay. So figure 14, Jalan Alo Food Street. So as I said before, when people who are from maybe from the outside of the city, they can be entrepreneurs. They can, for example, people at Jalan Alo Food Street can sell their food, beverages, and other stuff. And figure 15 is fantastic.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think I would like to request you to put figure 14 other description, but basically entrepreneurship at Jalan Alo Food Street. What way? You can change that one rather than you just put Jalan Alo Food Street. Okay.
Put what? Entrepreneurs, is it?
Yeah. I mean, you were saying this at figure 14. This is Jalan Alo Food Street, and it's an example to show entrepreneurship being.
Yes.
So in the description, add the word entrepreneurship there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, continue.
So figure 15 is Taman Tasik Titiwangsa's maintenance workers working. So it is the same as the quite the same as figure 14, which is people from the outskirts of the city move to the city to find work. So these are some of the examples of work to do in a city, in a big city. Figure 16 shows a tactical pave on a pedestrian walk path. So this tactical pave is for the special needs people. Yeah. And whereas figure 17 is the household groups in Malaysia. So in Malaysia we have 3 groups, which is from the lowest one is B40, the middle is M40, and also the highest group is T20. So this is from my point of promote decoupling. Whereas figure 18 is eco-tricity in United Kingdom. So in developing countries or in countries that are already developed, such as the UK, the USA, they have used electric cars and other environmental friendly vehicles. So by this they can save both the environment and their pockets. So moving on. Okay, so the last question is how to improve the environment as a tourism student. So the first point is include sustainable tourism alternatives in your school trip. So by meaning of sustainable tourism alternatives in your school trip is, for example, travel in the off season. So places such as maybe Malacca, Malacca. So when the what would you call school holiday comes, a lot of people in and out of this country came to Malacca. So it will cause a lot of carbon footprint, and yeah, it'll be a lot harder for people to manage the environment. And next is it also in other ways is also stay outside the city center. So as in stay outside. For example, Kuala Lumpur. So I mean there are places. Kuala Lumpur is quite big, so there are some places that are not that quite of a attraction for tourists. So maybe you can go to that places other than going to the famous places that tourists always come. So next is number 2. Go green at your hotel or hostel. So by the meaning of go green at your hotel or hostel is, for example, this is an example. We all know that hotel rooms have every hotel rooms have their own bed sheet and also towels for their customer. So how to improve the environment when you go to your hostel or hotel is ask the room service to not change the bed sheet or towel often. I mean, maybe after 3 days, 2 days stay, maybe you can ask the room service to change it.
Okay.
So number 3 is reduce your carbon footprint. I mean, a lot of people that uses transportation will contribute to the increasing of carbon footprint. So for example, when we take a flight, so there are direct and also indirect flight. I mean, so for example, from Malaysia, if we want to go from Malaysia to in the UK, we need to stop at maybe in the UAE or something, and then take another flight to the UK. So other than doing that, just take a direct flight. It can reduce carbon footprint.
I see. Okay.
So number 4, say no to illegal trade. So by illegal trade is you can just buy things that are locally made. I mean, buy things that the locals made, their products. So the reason is to make sure the money circulate in our country and the money doesn't go elsewhere from outside of our country.
Okay, I mean it's fall under illegal trade, is it? Are you sure? Can you just double check? Because when you use the illegal trade, I mean the way I understand is different.
Yeah, at first I also thought it was like by pangolins or something like that, but when I searched it up, the other meaning of it is support local industry. I mean local businesses, other than maybe for example Bangladeshian mart. So other than buying from that Bangladeshian mart, you can just go to the local mart, like Malays, Chinese or Indian mart, something like that.
Okay, so I think the word there, say no to illegal trade, probably you need to change a bit.
Yeah, I think.
Right. Okay, continue.
Okay, so next is okay, support community-based tourism, and I cannot see that, but
And
and what
Initiatives.
initiative? Oh, okay. So by this mean is that for example there are, for example in Selangor there are certain days that they supermarkets don't give plastic bags. I think it's Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. So by that we can just bring our own bag other than purchasing the plastic bag from the shops.
okay.
Yes, next is challenge yourself to what is that?
Step outside of your comfort zone.
Your
Challenge yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. So by this means is that wait okay, so by this means is that as a tourism student we need, as a tourism student, so we often go travel. So other than staying at certain places like your hotel rooms, so maybe you can just like walk around the cities, take don't take the Grab or taxi services, just take bicycle ride, or maybe just walk to around the city. Or and other than that, maybe you can talk to the locals about anything, and maybe you can also learn their language a bit. So
Right.
next, yes sir.
yes, carry on.
Okay. Next is take care of. What does it say?
Heritage.
Take care of.
Take care of heritage
Oh,
places.
okay. Take care of heritage places. So by this means is that don't litter, don't do vandalism and other stuff too. For example, monuments, mosques, sacred places, and others.
Okay.
And the last, is it the last one? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. The last one is support sustainable options in island destinations. So by this means is that, for example, Phuket. Wait. Okay. Wait. Okay. Support sustainable options in island destinations. For example, island destinations such as Phuket, Krabi, or Koh Yao Noi. There are most of the people lives there are not most, but some of them are Muslims. So for us Muslim, we have our own clothing ethic and stuff like that. So yeah, so by that, people or visitors need to wear appropriately, properly, and also most of the Muslims there are fishermen. So basically, they will not discourage people to wander around the locals, like the corals places. So yeah, they can save the corals.
Right, slide number 11.
So next is respect the practices of local people. So by this means is that every places or every country has their own ways of living, their own ways of doing something. So by that, we need to respect them and not to bother them or do anything that will trigger them. And next is use reusable bag when we go shopping to reduce the plastic. Next. These are some of the examples. Okay. Do I need to touch on this, sir? Or
well, you can just go probably pick 2 pictures and you move to another slides.
Oh, okay. Back, Ajim.
Okay.
Back ke forward?
Back.
Oh, back. Okay.
Slides number 11, right?
Yes.
Number
Okay.
11.
That's that.
So yeah, these are some of the examples from the points of how to improve the environment as a student. So figure 20 is the floating in Uacaré or Uacaré Lodge in Brazil, where figure 21 is the Go KL city bus. Figure 22 is Pulau Perhentian. Figure 23 is the famous A Famosa in Malacca. Figure 24 is the lion dance performance. And figure 25, the reusable of bags, tote bags. Figure 26 is the energy saving air conditioner. Figure 27, the ambience at Homestay Haji Durrani, Selangor. Figure 28, a group of friends camping. And figure 29, a guy commuting on a bike to go to work.
Okay.
So in conclusion, cities are hubs for ideas, commerce, culture, science, productivity, social development, and much more. Many challenges exist to maintaining cities in a way that continue to create jobs and prosperity without straining land and resources. Rapid urbanization challenges such as the safe removal and management of solid waste within cities can be overcome in ways that allow them to continue to thrive and grow while improving resource use and reducing pollution and poverty. There needs to be a future in which cities provide opportunities for all, with access to basic services, energy, housing, transportation, and more. And yeah, the next slide is the references, and yeah, we're done.
Okay, I have one question. Just now, Azim was mentioning about during the peak time, probably school holiday, there's a lot of people flocking, or tourists flocking to Malacca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it will increase more carbon footprints, but again, it contributing towards the economy to the Malacca state. How do you see a balance need to cater for that issues?
Uh,
Tourism is one of the way of for the state.
yeah, yes.
But on the same time, we are concerned about how much does the carbon footprint being generated through the tourists visiting Malacca. So, in your opinion, what kind of balance that we need to have in order to optimize and minimize, to help the state to boost up their economy, but on the same time, to minimize the impact of carbon footprint to Malacca itself.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. So in my opinion, I've been to Malacca many times.
Okay.
Either it's by car, by buses, or even I cycled there from Kejang. Yeah, from Kejang to Malacca.
Okay.
So what can I see is that places of attraction such as the Formosa Fort, there is no car that are being able to. I mean that the roads are not open for cars to use. So I think by that it reduces, but maybe because in my opinion, Malacca is a very small city. You can just like walk. I've done that. So and also one of the ways the government of Malacca did is that they implement the tricycle, the beca. So other than booking taxi or riding buses, they can just ride the beca tricycle. So yeah, or maybe they can just walk because Malacca is just a small city, in my opinion.
Okay, can we open up 3 questions for the groups?
Okay, I have question.
Okay, who's that? Natasha.
Natasha.
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible to develop system eco-friendly smart technology construction within the framework of social policy? Do you hear?
Can you please repeat the question?
It is possible to develop sustainable, eco-friendly, smart technology construction within the framework of policy, framework social policy.
In my opinion, it is possible, but we need to have teamwork from every parts of the community. Actually, we need to. There are a lot of ministry that has to be working hand in hand to make sure that ecosystem infrastructure can be developed in the cities according to the policy, according to the framework. So like Ministry of Housing and Local Government and Ministry of Natural Resources and Development, as well as Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change Ministry can
And what? Sorry.
together to create eco-friendly infrastructure. Am I answering the question?
Okay, yeah. Thank you. I have more question.
Okay, wait.
Is it okay?
Can we give another friend to ask question? If there are no question, then only you ask.
Okay.
Yes, question number 2.
Hello. Can I ask a question?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Azim, in your opinion, what are the other groups of people that need to be concerned about to be an inclusive city?
Thank you very much, Kairin. This is a very good question. This about in this inclusivity terms. My group and the previous group I've been talking about this, right? So, but previous group only focus on the issue of the race inclusivity between races in Malaysia, but to become a more inclusive and safe, resilient cities, there are other group of people that needs to be concerned about, like the immigrant, like the homeless people and the transgender community, I would say. And because there are those group of people that did not get the same exact nice treatment from the community. When I talk about the immigrant worker, it they have double standard between the immigrant workers and the expatriates, right? Because both of them are not Malaysian based. They are not their nationality are not Malaysian. They are both foreigners, but they just work in different field of work. Expatriate work in professional sector, and immigrant workers they work at labor work and stuff like that. But they do not get the same treatment. But like Zain said, we are human. We have flaws, but I think if we have more empathy, consideration, toleration, and spread more love, I think we can achieve the inclusivity between all those homeless people, transgender community, immigrant workers, and whatnot. So yeah, I guess that's that.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
thank
it.
you.
All right, thank you. The third question. Can we have the question from the brother side? Seems a bit quiet.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Konnichiwa.
I want to ask, what is your view regarding when the Tan Sri Anwar Musa suggests that the homeless will get job opportunities at KIC Center? Is this a good way to provide them good working opportunities?
Okay. Khairul Faizin, do
Yeah.
you mind? Okay.
What is the question again? Sorry.
As
You
we
may
know,
repeat.
due to the COVID-19, all the homeless were pulled at PLKN Center. And then Tan Sri Anwar Musa mentioned that post COVID-19, they will give job opportunities for the homeless to work at city center. So do you think this is a good action, or you may think that it's gonna will give competition toward the current workers?
Okay. Thank you, Fahmi. So, in my own very opinion, I think it is good that the minister have planned for the homeless community to have work after the pandemic, and I think for most of the aspect, I think competitions uh, is something that we cannot what we call we cannot run from. It is something that exists between any form of community. So I think maybe the numbers of people without job will decrease after the pandemic, but I think it will still not terminate the homelessness and the jobless people from this country. It will reduce, but it'll take time. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, where's Natasha? Your question, please.
Okay. Can you give example for eco innovation that can reduce environmental pollution and the global warming process?
Sure. Who do you want to answer your question?
I don't mind. Both of you can.
Okay. Datuk, you want to answer?
You first.
Okay. Actually, there are a lot of ways that we can do to. There are a lot of innovation that we can do to actually combat the climate change. In the modern infrastructure, like as we know, I don't know about this, but lecturers office building in UPNM, they actually apply the all glass wall to actually reduce the usage of electricity, the usage of the light bulb, the light bulb. So that is one of the initiative, and we can also install solar panel to the roof to actually gain energy, renewable energy from the sunlight to generate electricity. So that will reduce the climate change in a way, and we can have a more sustainable and environmental friendly technology to maintain, retain and sustain the our environment. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, your partner would like to say something about that?
So I think, in my opinion, ways to reduce the environmental impact on the environment is, I think, by implementing more lanes for own transportation, such as bicycle. Or yeah, so for example, in Kuala Lumpur, we can see the bicycle lane is basically besides the main road. So I think it's quite dangerous, and also most of Kuala Lumpurians park their cars at the bicycle lane, so it can be hazardous for the cyclists. So in my opinion, implementing a proper, well-built bicycle lane, or lane that people can use their own transportation, is the way to go.
Okay, I have last question. How best the number of cars can be reduced in Malaysia? I mean, if we were to support this SDG you were presenting just now, because we have high number of cars, high pollutions, traffic jam. So what do you think about these issues?
Any of us can answer, sir?
Can, no problem.
I think we can reduce in a very large amount, but the thing is we have to improve the conduciveness and the effectiveness of our public transportation first. according to my prediction, if we already change the way of the public transportation works in a way that they are time efficient, they are conducive, they are uh, friendly. I mean, they
User
are
friendly.
user friendly, inclusive, and safe, and so on. There are a lot of people that are going to use public transportation because having their own car actually is a big commitment. Having a car is a liability actually. So if the government work hard to improve our public transportation, I can assure you that there are a lot of people that are going to use our public transportation, and this will reduce the number of cars on the road by a great number.
Okay, Khairul, you want to say anything?
At this moment, no, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Group 11, for a very elaborated presentation. And again, thank you for all for participating in us asking questions to all the presenters from Group 7, 8, 9, 10, and lastly Group 11. Okay, so I think I would like to all the group please